guys, what's going on? Blaine back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Dream. Dream is a Korean sports comedy drama that tells the story of hong-dae, a disgraced football player who's removed from his team for assaulting a media reporter. However, he's given the chance to redeem himself by coaching a group of homeless men in his community to prepare for a football tournament in Rio. He starts off caring little about each of the team members, but over time he starts to bond with them more. He does his best to help the team overcome their individual problems and become better players while having to deal with his own personal issues. This movie was an interesting take from the usual fall from grace sports story that's been done many times in the past. It still has some issues with this approach, but it does a great job overall with the humanization of its characters, complex social themes, and effective comedy. Hong-dae was a fun character to lead the story, which is funny to say because he actually starts off as kind of a jerk to everyone. He's not used to being a team player and always feels like he has to be the top guy, yet his bad reputation keeps him from being where he wants to be, and it's interesting to see how he ends up being humbled over time. He goes from being a snob who can't believe he is where he is, to getting to know and understand his teammates, to genuinely caring for and motivating them to go on. There's a natural progression of events to how he changes throughout the story, and it's heartwarming to see. Even in the beginning, he's still somewhat sympathetic on account of his issues he has with his criminal mother. It's never really explained what she did, and I kind of wish the movie had more for her to do later on, but she still helps add a more emotional layer to Hong-dae, aside from just being a typical douchebag. The players he works with have just as much of an impact on the story as Hong-dae does. What's great about them is that they all have their own individual arcs that develop over the course of the story, and all of them are captivating. Now, some characters have more development than others, but they all have a part to play in the story. They all have their own individual relationship with Hong-dae, some more positive, while others not so much, and combined with their stories, they all feel like a true ragtag team of individuals united with one common goal. They start off not having much in the way of discipline and camaraderie, and as time goes on, they grow to become a family of sorts. Both Hong-dae and the team gain something from each other, and it's a lot of fun to see how they become closer with each other, even if they still have their gripes. Much of this movie's comedy revolves around the antics the team gets into. One gets jealous at Hong-dae for supposedly flirting with his girlfriend, another can hit a ball perfectly as long as it isn't moving, and another may call out someone for smelling bad just because they're homeless. There's just a lot of variety to the comedy they add that I appreciate. The movie adds another layer to the comedy though by throwing in a more satirical element to the story, in the form of a documentary of sorts that Hong-dae's crew films while everyone is training. For me, this was easily the most entertaining part of the movie. This is because it serves two purposes, the first being that it makes fun of the sports biopic genre as a whole by overemphasizing the drama of everyone's stories on the team. Even though they're all just average Joes and not actually pro players, everything's always filmed, edited, and planned in a way to make things more dramatic, and the movie is self-aware with this approach. The second purpose is that it actually works as a way to show the crew members' perception of the team changing over time. What starts as a cheap product made for the sake of money becomes an honest account of the team bonding together with Hong-dae's influence, and I loved seeing this. This is made more evident with the character Lee So-min, who is sort of an unsung hero for the team. She's the glue that holds the documentary aspect of the movie together and pitches in to help the team when she can. She's almost like an assistant coach, so I enjoyed how helpful she was for the team, and the banter between her and Hong-dae is hilarious. Despite the movie leaning towards comedy, it also succeeds with the genuinely dramatic aspects to its story. All of the stories of how each teammate ended up homeless are heartbreaking, especially as they develop over time, and they inspire a lot of food for thought when watching. It challenges perceptions of the homeless and how people tend to stigmatize them as dirty or uneducated or addicted. They all have their issues, but there's a reason why they have their issues, and it's never as clear-cut as other people like to think it is, and I appreciated how the movie humanized its characters in this regard. The training the team undertakes is enjoyable enough thanks to the chemistry of the cast, and it gets even better once they start playing actual games. The games are choreographed well, filled with energy, and a lot of fun thanks to the team. They all have some kind of gimmick that makes them more memorable as they play. Even though they're not exactly the best players of the sport, they have a lot of spirit and help lift each other up, so it's easier to get invested in them as they come to realize there are more important things than winning. Aside from the players, everything else about the movie looks good on a production level. The cinematography is good at tracking the action, the uniforms look authentic, and the commentary makes the games more intense. It feels like a true football game that helped me get excited for the characters. Now that being said, one of the few complaints I have about the movie is the way it portrays homeless people from other countries once the tournament is finally underway. I won't say too much about this so as to avoid spoilers, but I was disappointed by how the Korean team looked versus everyone else. There's a stark contrast in terms of fitness between them him and others. While the characters the audience are meant to root for are old, overweight, and generally lacking in skill, it seems like everyone else is the picture of health and plays like a pro. I know it's possible to be homeless and fit at the same time, but there was just something off about how literally every opposing team member was fit and talented. Beyond this, the movie still has tropes one can normally expect from this kind of genre. The coach is washed up, the team is undisciplined, they experience a lack of funding, and a couple other things. These cliches don't necessarily hurt the movie, but they don't help it either. It's fine in the end though, because of what it does to destigmatize homeless people and how it executes its central theme of celebrity. Hong-dae pursues his goal mostly for the sake of vanity and other selfish reasons, but eventually comes to prioritize true actions of integrity instead, and the movie wears its heart on its sleeve with how much it promotes love, equality, and acceptance of others. Overall, Dream is an excellent sports dramedy that explores important social themes in a lighthearted manner. If you like sports movies with both comedic and dramatic elements to them, you should definitely watch this one. It overcomes some cliches and other weird elements to tell an uplifting story about a group of underdogs with the odds stacked against them and taking them on anyway. It reinforces the importance of following your dreams no matter how impossible they may seem, and the fact that this is inspired by a true story makes this all the more important. What did you think about this movie? Did you enjoy the way it balanced humor and drama, or did you find its story hokey? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's going to wrap up my review of Dream. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part where next time I review the German sci-fi Paradise. Bye bye!